It was an ordinary morning. I woke up, brushed my teeth, scrolled my phone, and checked notifications like always. But something inside me felt off. Not in a bad way, just different. I suddenly had this strange urge to step outside, not to go anywhere, just to observe. And for the first time in my life, I decided to see the world without thinking about it. No judging, no naming, no analyzing, just watching. I walked out and stood near a tree, one I have passed 100 times without noticing. This time I looked at it as if I didn't know what a tree was. Not a tree, not a plant, not a living organism, just this thing standing there. Suddenly it looked alien, like some strange, ancient being reaching out into the sky. The texture of its bark was so full of detail I could lose myself in it. The patterns, the cracks, the stillness. Have you ever felt a tree without thinking? Just let your hand experience it like you have never felt anything before. Guys, believe me, it was hypnotic. In that moment, I felt like an alien, someone visiting Earth for the first time, with no language, no memories, no filters. Everything around me looked unfamiliar. Suddenly, a car passed by. Usually, I would think, oh, that's a Honda. But now, it was just a shiny moving box, reflecting the sky, making a mechanical growl. It was weird and wonderful too. I sat on a bench and watched people. And instead of thinking he is wearing a suit or she looks tired, I saw movement, postures, faces, emotions, and energies. Without words, people looked so vulnerable, so real, so alive. Friends, let me tell you, it's really hard to explain what happens when you remove labels from reality. Okay, try this right now. Look at your hand. Don't call it a hand. Don't think fingers or skin or mind. Just look. Believe me, you will start to see it differently, like it's not even yours. You will see wrinkles, colors, veins, and details you have ignored your entire life. That's what I was feeling. Not just with my hand, but with everything. It's like the world was revealing itself to me for the first time. Unfiltered, untouched, and raw. But here is the catch. As beautiful as it felt, it was also lonely. You realize how much of your life is built on labels and thoughts. Without them, you don't know who you are. I looked at my home, my clothes, my face in the mirror, and for a split second, I didn't recognize anything. No identity, no ego, just presence. I wondered, what am I without my name, without my roles, my beliefs, my memories? That question scared me, but it also liberated me. Because in that moment, I was not someone, I was just awareness. And that's when the magic happened. I began to feel everything more deeply. The breeze was not wind, it was touch. The sunlight was not sunlight, it was warmth flowing through my skin. Every sound felt like music. Every color looked more vivid. The world was not a background to my thoughts anymore, it was the experience. I wasn't observing reality, I was reality. And that's when I understood something. Something I had never grasped before. Friends, we think we know the world. We have named everything, categorized it, filed it neatly in the folders of our minds. That's a dog, that's a tree, that's happiness, that's failure. But what if that knowing is actually the greatest illusion? The moment you label something, you stop seeing it. You reduce its infinite complexity to a single word: flat, lifeless, familiar. You no longer experience it, you just reference it. A child doesn't say, "That's a tree." A child wonders at the shapes of the leaves, the way the branches sway, the shadows on the ground. To a child, a tree is not a thing, it's an event, a dance, a mystery. But we grow up, we learn names, and slowly, without noticing, reality becomes boring. Why? Because we replace the actual experience with a mental shortcut. We say sunset, and the word kills the wonder. We say love and forget how it feels. We say I'm angry and stop exploring the sensation inside us. We label and we move on. But what if you don't move on? What if you stay just a little longer with the rawness? When I stopped labeling, something strange happened. The world stopped being familiar. It became alien, unpredictable, and alive. I looked at a spider's web, usually something I would ignore, and I saw a geometry so perfect it made my chest ache. Not because it was beautiful, but because I was not expecting it to move me. It wasn't a web anymore, it was an art. It was intelligence, it was being. I realized that words don't just describe reality, they filter it. They wrap it in layers of meaning, expectations, and memory. And by doing that, they steal the present moment from us. Even with people, we do the same. You meet someone and instantly label them rude, friendly, smart, or even weird. But that label becomes a lens. And from that moment on, you never see them again. You only see your story of them. We don't relate to reality. We relate to our version of reality. And the tragedy is, we think that's enough. But what if we could drop those filters? What if just for a while we looked at the world like it was brand new? We might discover that we have never truly seen a leaf, never truly felt the full texture of silence, never really looked into someone's eyes without our story running in the background. Friends, this doesn't mean words are bad. They are useful, necessary even, but when we confuse the map for the landscape, we lose the richness of life. And that richness, that raw, wild, undescribable richness is always here, right beneath the labels, waiting to be seen. Friends, eventually I went back to my room. The thoughts returned, the mind came back. I started labeling things again: phone, bad, to do list, but something in me had changed. Now, every once in a while, I pause, I look at my cup of tea, or the sky, or my own hand, and I drop all thoughts. And for a brief moment, I return to that alien gaze, to that silent, sacred space where everything is new. And that space, that's where truth lives. Not in the words, not in the mind, but in the gaps between thoughts. So here is my invitation to you. Take 10 minutes today, step outside, or just look at your room and observe everything like you have never seen it before. No thoughts, no labels, just raw, unfiltered experience. And maybe, just maybe, you will discover a version of the world you never knew existed. Because reality, the real one, is not something we see, it's something we become. Thank you for watching. If this touched something inside you, if it made you pause, wonder, or feel something new, share it with someone who needs to see the world differently today. And tell me in the comments, what did you see when you stopped naming it. Thank you for watching.